It can't be that obvious, right? It can't be that obvious. Yes, just got done with the second episode of Undead Girl Murder Farce or Undead Murder Farce, whatever you want to call it. But yes, definitely an episode that just keeps my feelings about this series going. Now, I will say a lot of the creativeness that I see in the first episode has kind of been removed a little bit, but there's still plenty of that in there. I love the chemistry they're already kind of building between these two characters. I love their banter back and forth. The snicker was way too good. But I am a little bit fearful that the mystery's not going to be that good. I don't know. It might just be a product of the adaptation. They're making things a little bit too obvious, but I could be wrong. But yeah, let me jump into my thoughts. But yes, open up the episode, we have the setup of this particular mystery, which is the fact that apparently at some point, Count Dracula himself has been killed. The humans and the vampires have created some sort of truce. It seems to be implying this idea of they have given up the drinking of blood of humans, and in return, the humans have allied with them. But it does seem like there's still the existence of vampire hunters, and so it seems as if the humans are sort of turning a blind eye to bad things that are happening to the vampires, or at least specifically this Godard family. The Godard family are vampires that have chosen not to drink blood in order to live amongst the humans. It shows the opening scene where the lord of this family is out hunting with his son, and he's shooting a gun, which was given to him by the mayor, but he misses, so he has to go kill the deer by himself. And the son's like, why are you even bothering using the gun? He's like, well, we're trying to meet the humans halfway. He's trying to have his family, the vampires, coexist with the humans. And his son's like, why? Why even bother? They don't like us. It's not working. And he's like, but we're going to try. We're going to put aside our wishes for this not to work because we need to make it work. But unfortunately, they return home from their hunt, and yes, the storage locker where he was keeping this silver steak from a previous vampire hunter that he took out has been touched, and it's covered with their blood. He goes to investigate, and he finds his wife is dead. And sadly, it looks as if the humans aren't really doing anything to investigate this. The police are kind of overlooking it, despite the fact that this could cause a rift between the humans and the vampires. So they enlist the help of a certain duo from the east, which is, yes, Ayarindo and Sugaru, the cage user, as they call him. But like I said earlier, this is where I'm getting that like sense of the chemistry that's going on here. Is you have Sugaru and Ayarindo, and they're just kind of constantly bickering back and forth. Sugaru is just an absolute dork, which I got a sense of that in the previous episode, but not so much now. Like, this guy just loves cracking jokes. And Ayarindo is just constantly like, stop. But it does seem like she plays into it a lot. As they first meet the vampires, and he cracks some joke about, oh yeah, some people mistake her as being a boy because, she doesn't have a chest. And she's like, Shizuku makes sure to hit him later, but that was a funny joke, and he starts laughing to himself. It's super good. But this is interesting. I'm hoping this isn't a normal thing, because they did it with the carriage rider, and now they're doing it with the family, as it seems like every time they meet somebody new, they have to go through this whole spiel about everybody's thinking Shizuku is talking, but it's not Shizuku talking. And then eventually they reveal that, oh, Ayarindo is inside this cage. But it seems like that's going to be a normal thing, because it seems as if Ayarindo likes to see the expression on people's faces when they first find out. They're going out of their way to have her see every person's face. I don't know if that's just because she gets a kick out of it, or if because based on their expression and their shock, it might show her something about them, like their insecurity deep inside. If there has been a murder or something bad happened, that first impression of seeing her might give her an indication of their fears of being caught. Like, she feels that it exposes them somehow. But I don't know, we'll probably see hopefully here soon, because yes, this is where I get into my theory on what's going on here. I kind of like the fact that this isn't just enclosed in one episode. I was kind of thinking this was going to be an episode per mystery, but I like how they're doing this because they're splitting it so that way I can come on here and kind of give my predictions. That first glance, the second son, I think it was Rao or something like that. He put his hand in his pocket. Like, it went out of its way to show him kind of like he went to hide something or put his hand away. And I thought that was a little bit too much of a tip as to the kids hiding something. And again, that might be to Ayarindo's idea here. She likes to have that first impression to see how they react, and he reacted in a way that was almost like he was hiding something. That doesn't make sense because their reaction is to the fact that she's a beheaded person that's not dying. But again, it could be to her theories. This could be something she does. Because unfortunately, we don't get to see it, but they've done 2 different cases before then where they solved 2 problems. They helped a merfolk and some golems. So this might be a strategy of hers. But again, the moment I seen him hide his hand, I'm like, is it really that simple? Is he the one that did it? Because yes, what kind of follows this is them kind of going over the crime scene itself. The mother was sitting there in the chair, 1 puncture him in the chest. The bleeding was kind of going to one direction. She looks like she was peaceful, like she was sleeping. There was a bottle on the ground, which implies holy water, possibly. And with all this evidence in play, Aya Rendo makes the claim that, yes, you can claim that it's somebody from the outside. However, there's 7 problems with that, and she lists them. Why was the stake put back? How did they know exactly where the stake was and where Hana was at, and exactly when she would be sleeping? Why was there a bottle left behind? Why would they do it at night when during the day they're weaker? All the point of having 2 more remaining, but because their goofy little joke they were playing off of, they couldn't do it. I love the chemistry between the 2 of them, but I'll get that in a minute. But yes, this is sort of all applying to, yes, what I think is the obvious choice here is that it is the second son. Because yes, when the Lord was out hunting, he was with the second son. However, the second son was not with him directly. He was off to the side waiting for his father to come back. And the whole opening segment is him literally talking about how they're trying to be kind and equal with the humans, and it's not working. This kid does not like the fact that they are working with them, and even points out the death of Dracula. Adding to that, he doesn't seem too happy about the fact they were attacked by a hunter before. I think the second son is trying to break their relationship with the humans. He wants them to fight them. He doesn't want to be friends with them. He doesn't like the humans. Now, as to why he would want to kill his mother, probably because she is previously human, because they went out of their way to point out the fact that she used to be human, she was turned into a vampire. Maybe he doesn't like her because she was once human, and he just doesn't like humans in general. So it makes sense that he would go kill his mother. Now, why he wouldn't kill the butler and the maid as well, probably because he wants them to be framed for it. But equally because he knows that it's not going to create some sort of rift with his father and the humans. So the son probably went out hunting with his father went alone, he broke off, went back, grabbed the stake, went up, killed the mother, knowing that she was asleep, went back and put it away, and then went back out to his father. Why he put it back was because he had nowhere else to put it. He's not going to put it in his room, they'll find it there. It's not like he's going to be able to leave the house. He has no time to go and hide it somewhere, so he just went back to his father after putting it back in the storage. Him being a vampire, he'd be able to break the locks. He'd be welcome in there because he's the son of the family. And why did he leave the bottle? Because he wanted to frame the humans. Everything lines up for the son to be the one. And again, I really do hope it's not that obvious. Even if it is that obvious, it doesn't ruin it because I do still enjoy kind of the layout of all the evidence and trying to figure out what kind of pieces together. And plus, yes, kind of the goofy shenanigans between Sugaru and Rindo. I love the whole counting forward. Lift up your finger. Yes, there you go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I ran out of fingers. Oh, okay. Well, then use your tongue. Oh, then use your foot. And then their goofy little kind of antics back and forth kind of leads into this kind of joke of, oh crap, well, I guess we'll have to deal with the other 2 later on. I love the chemistry between the 2 of them because he's being super over the top goofy and she's just kind of playing into it while not really getting angry at him. They're just kind of very acceptant of each other's nature and goofiness. And that's probably due to the time they've spent already together and the 2 cases they've solved. The only thing that was like really weird about this episode was the very beginning scene with the carriage. They kind of insinuate this idea that Sugaru came to this guy and gave him a carriage that was a mini carriage that I'm guessing turns into a big carriage. And he's talking about how he had to return it. So he can't let him go yet because he needs to turn it back into a small carriage. I don't know. I guess Sugaru has like a portable carriage. That part didn't make much sense, but the guy just wanted to get paid so he can go home to his family. Like I said before, I didn't feel like this episode was as creative with the creative shots as the previous episode, but they still had some really cool shots in here, like half face of the mother and half face of Rendo. A lot of really creative kind of transitions from one scene to the other, so there's still plenty of really cool shots in there. But like I said, I think the thing that shined the most here was just the goofy chemistry between the characters. The 14-year-old reporter girl was kind of random. I'm guessing that she's probably going to be something of a character that's going to be frequent in the series itself. She seemed to be very excited they were showing up, so I'm guessing maybe in the next episode or so, they'll have her showing up on a regular basis to maybe get information and relay that to the people. It sort of gave this emphasis that, yes, technically nobody cares about the well-being of the vampires, and obviously Godard's really upset about this. This Lord Godard is really upset about the mistreatment of them. And you would assume that any of these other press here that are all human probably don't care to write the right story. So he's using her specifically as hopefully the one person that will relay it properly to people. So she might be the one that actually does report the proper news, whereas most of the other humans are going to give things that sort of lean to humans' favor. But we'll see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the second episode of Undead Girl Murder Farce. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what's the episode. Additionally, if you're new to this channel, make sure that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, and membership button down below. I greatly appreciate everybody does, and y'all take care.